Okay, let's start off by talking about the attachment point between the tiller extension and the actual tiller on the rudder cheek. You don't need anything fancy here. Let me show you something that is inexpensive and works great. Get a piece of fuel line hose. It needs to be about 3.5 inches long. And then take your tiller extension, use whatever you want. I've got hundreds of carbon tubes, so that's what I use. But you could use fiberglass, you could find some old fishing rods, surf rods, strip down a section, cut them, use that, or just buy some. It doesn't really matter. But what you're going to do is take this tube and put about half of it, you're going to slide it onto the section of tiller extension. Use Goop, E6000, it's all the same stuff. You don't need anything particularly expensive to glue that in place. And then on this end, you're going to take either a punch or a drill and drill a 1/4 inch hole through it. Now once you've done that, you can attach this to the actual tiller on the rudder cheek, and you've got great flexibility and movement anywhere you want it. Let's go take a look. The attachment to the actual tiller itself is simple. Use a 1/4 inch 20 stainless steel bolt. It goes through from the bottom. It will pass through the holes you placed in your rubber attachment section. I separate them with nylon washers and then a lock nut on top. They don't have to come off when you take the rudder off the boat. This all comes apart in one section and goes into the standard Weta rudder bag. You don't have to disassemble this. This is a one-time assembly. And these will last for, I've been on this same set for 10 years, so they'll last a good while. Make sure, however, that when you put the bolt in, you do put the head on the bottom and the threaded part on the top. And that will keep you from getting any possible rubbing on the stern deck if you have a stem that's sticking out too far. Now this rubber tubing Junction, simple as it is, it does everything you want it to do. You can move this anywhere you want it. There's absolutely no problem. It's flexible. You can go all the way to the front of the boat, jump off the back of the boat if you want. It doesn't matter. You can raise it, you can lower it, you can spin it to the other side. You can go anywhere you want with it. It works. Because my tiller extensions are off the back of the tramp, off the back of the rail, so they won't hang up on anything, I have put some small rubber pads. This is C-deck. Just as you're sailing along, or if you hit any choppy water, it just takes the carbon to glass contact, gel coat contact out of the picture. They've been doing this for 10 years. I've got over 4,000 hours on the boat. I've damaged nothing. People that have not watched my videos closely enough seem to think that there could be a problem in getting a hold of the tiller because it's off the back of the tramp. Look, this boat's not that big. If you're sitting anywhere from the shroud to the rear beam, it's always right here. In close, it's right here. You're sitting on the rail, it's right here. If you're hiked out, like I normally am, with my butt a full foot or more off the rail, in the back of my knees right here, it's right here. If you're hiked off the ama, just reach down, it's right here. And if you want to go forward, you can. You can put this on a longer tether if you want, or if you're going forward because you're in light air, it's not like you're in a hurry. So just unclip it. Take it as far forward as you want. As far as the length of the tiller extension, that's up to you. I have settled on a length that allows me, when I have the rudder pushed completely to the opposite side, and I'm hiked out, I'm actually beyond the ama, I can reach down. If I'm straight out and my hand is all the way down along my side, my fingertips are on it. I don't have any trouble. But that's something you just need to experiment with, and I would recommend when you source your pieces for the tiller extensions, go longer and then cut them short until you get where you need to be. You don't want them longer than necessary. There's no reason for that. But start longer and go shorter as you practice. So, is the system foolproof? Is it possible for these tillers to hang up on something? Yes, it is. But it won't be the system's fault, it'll be the sailor's fault. Here's the one thing that can happen. Depending on your turning radius, and you're over here, and you forget to drop this off the back, if you drop it on the tramp, there is a chance, and I have had this happen, that you can get, most of the time it won't catch, but I have had it catch on the screecher block. And if you're in a hurry, and the wind's up, and you got to make a turn, that's an issue. But you're only going to do that once or twice, and then you'll learn that anytime you're finished with it, you either drop it, if you're at the front of the boat, toss it off the back. It's not going to get away from you. And yes, there is a reason why I use a round ball on the extension. I'm not going to get into all the ergonomics. I've done quite a few studies on that. This is the proper shape for the end of this tiller extension. Not only is it better to grasp, easier to grasp, but it also is harder to hang up on things because it will tend to ride up and over rather than sticking into something.